Slavery was all about economics. Our situation in this country was unique because in this country, they used chattel slavery, meaning that we were never intended to be citizens. Our sole purpose was to work to generate an economy.
What is it? What is it that makes it difficult for the philosophy of nationalism to spread among the so-called Negroes? Number one, they think they have a stake in America. They think they have an investment in this country, which we do. We invested 310 years of slave labor, 310 years, every day of which your and my mother and father worked for nothing. Not 8 hours a day. There was no union in that day. They worked from sun up until sundown, from can't see in the morning until can't see at night. They never had a day off. And on Sunday, they were allowed to sit down and sing about when they died, they wouldn't be slaves no more. When they died.
So to justify chattel slavery, you have to say that the people you are enslaving aren't fully human beings. So if we weren't considered full human beings, then there's no way it would ever be intended for us to be citizens of this country. And just like animals, we were considered property.
We were not brought here to be made citizens. We were not brought here to enjoy the constitutional gifts that they speak so beautifully about today.
Think about owning property and tell me, when has your property ever been equal to you? Exactly. Just imagine your house or your car or a piece of land not wanting to be owned by you anymore. How would you feel about that? How would you feel if your house or your car or your land came to you and said, you know what? I don't want you to own me anymore. Whatever value I have to you, I'm taking it away. How would you respond? I will tell you how you would respond. You would find a way to ensure that you still owned that house, that car, or that land. And if you couldn't, then guess what you would probably do? Just destroy them. Because if you couldn't have them, then guess what? Nobody could.
Because we weren't brought here to be made citizens today, now that we've become awakened to some degree and we begin to ask for those things which they say are supposedly for Americans, they look upon us with hostility and unfriendliness.
If we are fighting for our human rights, our civil rights, and our equal rights, how in the world can we establish equity in this country? A country that never intended for property to own property.
But see, they never met with me.
Yeah.
And see, I asked them to meet with me, but why
they want
won't
you to drop it and then meet with, and then maybe meet
That's
with
right,
you.
which is something you would never ask a white person to do.
Never in a
So,
million years.
right, so you never ask that. You never ask anybody white to do that. So here, when we asked them to sit with us, they said, no, we're not going to sit with you. As a matter of fact, my government relations person went to the government relations person of Charter, and he said, you should sit with Byron to resolve this. And she said to him, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Whoa.
And as crazy as it sounds, freedom actually put us in debt.
You're brought here to build wealth, to make people wealthy, not to share it. And the moment we became free, we became a liability to them. And that's when they kicked in and said, here you go. I'm going to incarcerate you.
They literally make money off of every facet of our existence. If we are a fetus that is aborted, the fetus is used for science.
And I say, listen, they get us in the schoolroom by making sure you don't get a proper education.
Right.
They get you in the boardroom by making sure you don't have access to capital that's not predatory and business opportunities. And they get you in the courtroom by making sure there are laws that incarcerate you and lock you up long before you get choked to death in the streets.
If we are a child in school, our head count equals money. If we are in the juvenile justice system, that's still more money. If we decide to further our education, we are paying for college. That is still more money. If we decide to join the labor force, that is still more money. If we get incarcerated, our head count is still worth money. That prison labor still generates money. Government funding for programs that we are a part of, that's still more money. How about entertainment? How much do you think entertainers make these companies? How much do athletes make these companies? And don't let me get on the organ stealing. They literally make money off of every facet of our existence. Think about all that money raised for research on those diseases that affect us. And I haven't even mentioned our consumer spending. It's almost like when we're born, our sole purpose is to generate an economy. Doesn't that sound awfully familiar? You know what they say, history always repeats itself. Imagine building the machine and then being the fuel the machine uses to run.
What is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.